So here we have two factors, global warming and climate change. The difference between climate change and global warming is global warming only refers to the increase on Earth's average temperature, which is 14.9 degrees Celsius. While in the Philippines, the average temperature is between 25.5 to 26.6 degrees Celsius. If there's a consistent increase on that particular temperature beyond years, we can tell that we are now experiencing global warming. While climate change includes two factors, what are those? These are the results of climate change. Number one is global warming, which I mentioned earlier. And number two, changes in precipitation. A good example of changes that we have now experiencing was the typhoon Yolanda. In the past, we only have signal numbers 1, 2, and 3. But today, we have now signal numbers 4 and 5. Like again, this typhoon Yolanda in 2013 is the one of the most powerful typhoons to have made landfall in recorded history, with a maximum sustained speed winds reaching 350 km per hour, which can be compared to the speed winds of a tornado. Another one is the tropical storm Ondoy in 2009, which was the main cause of heavy flooding here in Metro Manila and various regions in the Philippines. So, what are the effects of global warming? Just remember the acronym RICH: rising sea level, increase in temperature, changes in water supply, and habitat damage, and species affected. We are experiencing rising sea level because of the increase on Earth's average temperature that resulted to the expansion of seawater and melting of glaciers, particularly in Alaska, Antarctica, and Greenland. Why we are experiencing increase in temperature? Because of too much accumulation of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, which is normally emitted through burning of fossil fuels, which cause of trapping of heat. There are also changes in water supply. As it gets warmer, the amount of water evaporation is expected. The higher the evaporation, the higher amount of precipitation, which I refer to the rain. One good example of this was the crisis happened in the Angat Dam's water level. And lastly, there will be habitat damage and species affected. When glaciers melt, there will be no habitat for polar bears, which will result to the extinction of this animal. How global warming works. The UV rays coming from the sun will enter the Earth's atmosphere. Naturally, 50% of this will be absorbed by the Earth, and the other 50% will be bounced back to the atmosphere. But because of the accumulation of greenhouse gases like CO2 in the atmosphere through burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas, there will be trapping of heat. Thus, heat cannot go outside anymore and will be resulted to global warming. We have four common greenhouse gases. Number one in the list is carbon dioxide. This greenhouse gas is being emitted again by burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas. This greenhouse gas is also the principal contributor of global warming. Number two in the list is nitrous oxide. It's also known as laughing gas, which can be emitted by the use of oxidizer in rocketry and in motor racing like in the movie Fast and the Furious. And also this gas is emitted by the use of fertilizers such as nitrogen-rich fertilizer and a fertilizer that has bacteria on a soil using dirt of Carabao. Number three is methane. This is emitted by the composition of plant matter. This greenhouse gas is 25 times stronger than carbon dioxide. And lastly, number four is CFCs. This is caused by the use of aerosols as blowing agent in the air-conditioned refrigerants, which is the main cause of ozone depletion. That's why the use of this greenhouse gas was prohibited by the United Nations in 1995, because these CFCs are being broken down by the UV ray in the stratosphere, which is the main cause of the release of chlorine atoms, which is again the major cause of ozone depletion.